Hey guys, it's Catfish here again and welcome back to my channel. Metro is now in full swing and this video will go over what you should do on day 2 and through the rest of the first week. By now, you should already have level 5 armor and some of you should have level 6 from the weekly honor rewards. If you don't already have this, please prioritize this. Getting 10 easy free bot kills right over here can grant you a free level 5 armor piece, whether that's a helmet or a vest. On Monday upcoming up, there will be a free level 6 armor, so get those easy bot kills. Alright, so your armor has been taken care of. What about your guns? At this point, you should still have an intact AKM. Do not sell that intact AKM, you will need it for map 3. At this point, choose MK14 or MG3. Whichever gun you like more and purchase a pink refined version of it. MK14 is incredibly accurate when you scope in, making it great for mid to long range, while MG3 has a better hipfire and a larger magazine for squad wipes. Again, do not sell your intact AKM that you bought on day 1. As you can see, I still have mine. It is amazing for rushing map 3 and killing the dogs. I will explain the strategy later. At this point, depending on what type of player you are, there are 2 ways to make money throughout this first week. The first strategy is a more aggressive but lower risk gameplay, and it's ideal for players with less looting experience. Using strategy 1, you can either play on map 1 or map 2. If you choose to play map 1, you rush battle line, and you fight enemies, you open all the crates in battle line, and you have a chance of fighting gold bars with your level 5 or 6 armor. Again, if you die on map 1, you don't lose your armor and your guns, just whatever in your backpack, so it's a more safer but aggressive strategy because you're fighting people to make money instead of just looting. Don't waste your ammo and your time on the bosses in map 1, only go for battle line, in and out, and that's it. Or you can play map 2. Now, if you choose to play map 2, the bosses are a lot more important, right? Loot the base, loot Fort Rozhok, and also loot the underground tunnels underneath Fort Rozhok, right? Whenever you do meet enemies, fight them aggressively for their ammo loot and their dog tags. Alright, so that's strategy 1. Find players on map 1 and 2 and loot important places. It's a lot safer because in case you don't do it correctly, you don't lose everything, just whatever's in your backpack. Strategy 2, however, is a lot more higher risk, but a lot more strategic and a more careful type of gameplay. This is map 3. I will have a whole different video on this strategy later on, but the gist of it is, wear only level 3 or 4 armor, bring your intact AKM that you should have kept, 300 rounds of normal ammo, 3 first aid kits, 10 energy drinks, and rush radiation zone, okay? Again, this is a much higher risk strategy because of the possibility that you might lose everything. The idea is you play solo, you use your stealth, and use the spawn glitch to get to the rad zone as fast as you can. You're in and out in 5 minutes and no one has to know you're ever there. Again, this is a much higher risk strategy, but remember, if you find 4 gold bars, there's a guaranteed 800,000 Metro cash in return. So as long as you don't wear more than level 4 armor and you don't use anything more than intact weapons, you will never lose money doing the strategy as long as you make it to rad zone first. Alright, again, I'll make a whole different video on this. In this video, I just want to focus a little bit on the safer, more aggressive strategy 1. Specifically, I want to teach you how to properly rush Fort Rozhok from both the back door from the river direction and from the front door direction from the water town. I see lots of players making silly mistakes or forgetting important ambush angles when rushing this very important city, so in this video we're talking about Fort Rozhok. Now, Fort Rozhok is an insanely important location for 3 important reasons. Number 1, it sits on the central location of the map, so you can expect to find a lot of enemies crossing paths there. Knowing how to navigate Fort Rozhok can either help you avoid unnecessary fights or know how to flank enemy squads should you choose to fight. That's the first reason. The second reason that Fort Rozhok is important is because there's a boss there, which drops a great loot. This entices most players to go to Fort Rozhok at least once before heading to the return point, which means you can expect lots of enemies to go there, and when you beat the boss, you need to know how to leave Fort Rozhok and how to defend it. And the third reason why Fort Rozhok is super important is because on map 3, it directly overlooks the entrance for the metro station to get to the radiation zone, the fastest way to get there. Alright, so this is going to be a 3-part video, and I'm going to teach you how to properly rush Fort Rozhok through the front, how to rush it through the back, and once you've conquered it, how do you defend Fort Rozhok? So let's start with rushing through the front. When rushing from the front, when approaching Fort Rozhok from the front, right, try your best to approach as quickly as you can and as quietly as you can, right? Everyone on the team should be on full boost if you anticipate a fight. Do not alert the enemies to your attention until the very last moment. As your squad is approaching the front gate, right here, immediately look at 2 positions. The first one is this tower over here. And the second one is this shed over here. These are the most common locations for enemies to camp. Make sure your entire team knows of these 2 camping locations before you guys push up. Proceed quickly to the wall over here and immediately look at 3 more locations as you approach that wall. And those 3 locations are as follows. That would be the van over here, the balcony to the right over here, as well as there's going to be a destroyed house over there. Basically, make sure no one can shoot you from the left-hand side, okay? Also look at this tower over here to make sure there's no snipers that can get easy shots of you. As you can see, there's a sniper there right now, so taking him out is very, very important, all right? As of this point, there are 2 good camping locations that your team should be aware of, all right? You need to camp, 2 people need to camp this van, and 2 people need to camp this corner. This allows you to set up crossfire, so in case enemies try to shoot you from a different angle, at least 1 person should be able to get the knock. Doing a 2-2 split also guarantees that if 1 person gets knocked, there's always a partner right next to them to get the immediate revive. Alright? At this point, do not continue until your team is in this position, because if you rush without thinking, there are many angles that you can be knocked and thirsted from. Okay? So we're taking out this guy. When you approach the van, it's very important to look at 3 more locations. One is this wall here, this area here. The other is this hole in the wall that third parties love to shoot you from. And then the third location is that there's a little bush right over there that people can prone and shoot you from. Not this one over here. Closer to that wall, you'll see there's a bush that people can prone and shoot you from. Be very careful as you approach that people can shoot you from these locations. Always be staring at them and be ready to scope in and shoot with your MK14 as you're pushing up. Okay? Finally, the next step in your rush is to push up to these stairs. Oop, bad mark. Is to push up to these stairs. This area, these stairs along with this wall over here, is the most important next checkpoint for your team. Being there prevents anyone from this wall, this hole here, to shoot you because you're protected, and it also makes it much more difficult for enemies here to shoot down on you. So again, this wall here is the next checkpoint. Everyone in the team should make it to that point before proceeding, all right? Once you've made it to the patio, it becomes fair game. Again, once you've made it to this patio, it is complete fair game for either squads. You have officially broken through all the advantages that the enemy could use in Fort Rozhok, and now it boils down to whoever has the better close-range combat skills. Use whatever cover you can to fight and win against the enemy squad. Again, at this point, remember, your skills in close-range combat matter more than anything. So, just a reminder, prioritize one target at a time, and if your teammate gets knocked, prioritize your teammate revive. If you are low HP, prioritize your health before reviving a teammate. So that is rushing Fort Rozhok from the front. What about rushing Fort Rozhok from the back? If you're approaching Fort Rozhok from the river direction, it's very, very important that you first don't stay on the bridge because you can get lit up. Always climb into the, jump into the river and climb this rock and approach the wall immediately. This wall, the one I'm next to. As you approach this tree over here, don't stay there. Because if you stay there, it's really easy for enemies on the patio to shoot down onto you. So very soon you can see right over here. This patio right here, enemies love camping over here at this wall and shooting down on all your teammates as you're trying to push into this wall. Again, people know about the strategy, so people will be camping this box here to try to shoot you. And it's very difficult to shoot up, but it's easy for enemies to shoot down. So if you're gonna approach Fort Rozhok through this direction, either by choice or not by choice, quickly push into this wall. Never stay in this area because you can get lit up and you can get easily squad wiped. When you push into the hole in the wall, again, quickly stare at that watchtower, and if there's enemies camping the first floor of the watchtower, make sure you throw grenades and destroy them quickly. Again, after you've done this, make it up the stairs as fast as you can because that's how you remove all the advantages that the enemies can. The more time you stay in this region, where I am, the more time you're giving enemies to surround you from all directions and kill you, right? So once you're at the patio, again, use as much cover as you can and rely on your close quarters combat instinct to beat the enemy. If you don't follow the strategy and you stay in this area too long, this is what's gonna happen.
Watch out.
Okay, so that was a very, very dangerous situation to put your team in. Luckily, this was day 1 footage and we had AKMs and nobody had level 6 armor, so we were able to successfully defend this. But never put yourself in a situation where you can get easily surrounded, okay? All right, so now that you know how to attack Fort Rozhok, how do you defend it? Well, it's on the strategic positioning of your team members. At this point, there needs to be one person. All right, let me find that mini map here. All right, so you're in Fort Rozhok, okay? This is the watchtower, this is the van, this is the patio, this is the back door. This is how you should position your team, right? At this point, there needs to be one player who is skilled at long-range combat, preferably the sniper of the team. They need to be over here in this watchtower. And they need to look at this hill over here. They need to look at this approach over here. They also need to look at the city. So again, the sniper is very important because they need to look at all this area right here. Everything inside here is their responsibility. One player who is skilled at mid-range combat, who is preferably the team leader, needs to be at the first floor of that same tower. So again, if the sniper is in this tower on the top floor, the team leader is right next to him at the bottom floor. And this person, the team leader, needs to be aimed at this hole in the wall. Now, the other two team members need to be skilled at close range combat. One person needs to camp this patio right here and aim at the hole in the wall, just like you saw in the previous clip. And then the final player needs to camp this corner, this wall here, and aim at this, that entrance. So, camp that shack. So behind the shack, right? By doing this, each player can cover a large area of the fort. As you can see, I'll show you. We have 3 players looking here and 1 player over here. This player is responsible for seeing all of the bridge, all of the river, and everyone who's approaching from the eastern side. The sniper can see everyone coming from the south. The team leader is also staring at the backside. And then the last guy is also staring at the west. So this essentially covers everyone. Your team as a whole with this setup can see all the way from the bridge all the way to the Watertown Riverside direction. The city of Fort Rozhok is now under your careful watch. Alright, so that was a lot of material to cover and there's still way more to talk about. So I'm going to break this video into 2 parts. So the next video I'll be talking about strategy 2. So in my next video I'll be talking about the second strategy, the one where you wear level 3 or 4 vest and you rush the rat zone. I hope you found this helpful. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you hated it, let me know why down in the comments. Also, if you didn't already know this, I recently created a new Catfish Discord server as well as a friendly tactic-based clan. I am actively recruiting players from all skill levels as long as you're a team player. So if you wish to play a game with me and possibly be featured in my next video, join the Discord using the link in the description. The requirements and the tryouts are all found in the Discord. Alrighty, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.